Well, if you learned anything from the last video, hopefully it's that you shouldn't mess with perverted sunflowers. There are 4 more endings, and I guess I'll go ahead and do the next one here. I don't know if I'm going to do all of them. I still haven't decided. That was Kid and the Sunflower. This next one might be long, and I'll probably mess it up because it has more steps than the other ones did. The other ones were only like 2 sentences long. This is 3 sentences long. The walkthrough is. Okay, and yes, I am going to be fast-forwarding stuff. Put it on normal. Yep, she gave us a lot of great information. Help us sneak inside. Let's fall asleep. This will be the 4th scenario. Sag. Huh? Snap out of it, lazy bones. I might even drop her accent altogether, because frankly I am tired of butchering it and even doing it. Looking up, the tall, shadowy mansion of Lord Lynx looms before me. I can't believe we're there already. I must have been really out of it. The hell were you daydreaming about, mate? Let's go, Kid says, disappearing into the mansion. I might drop it, I don't know. Hey, Kid, wait up, I shout, frantically chasing after her. However, she's already long gone. The darkness engulfs me as I step inside Viper Manor. One more time. Passages extend to the left and right. Wherever we turn, it's just darkness. So which way do we go now? I ask. Wait, what was that? Could have sworn I saw a faint light illuminating the hallway just then. It's probably just the moonlight, though, I silently whisper to myself. However, looking around, there's nowhere for the light to come in. Hey, Sag, what are you staring at? We got a job to do here. I look down the hallway only to see Kid, already barely visible down the long, dark corridor. Yeah, let's chase her. After a while, the path splits into 3 directions. To the left is a descending staircase, while the path on the right extends into the darkness. We have to go back to the study, so I'm pretty sure that we need to, go down the right path? We head down the path. After a while, it ends at a stained wooden door. Yeah, this has to be the study. See, it's a good thing I got lost so much the first time through. Guess this is the study. Plump was right. This huge room is faintly lit by the moonlight, shining in through a tall window. In the back of the room stands a large, ornately decorated desk. Row after row of bookshelves house thousands of thick, dusty books. A painting is hung on the rear wall, sharing space with various exotic curios. Let's check out the painting. I walk over and examine the painting, illuminated by the pale moonlight. It's an oil painting of a very strange landscape. I've never seen anything quite like it before. It's a depiction of an endless, scorched desert, filled with red sand stretching out to the horizon. There, unbelievably tall mountains soar upwards for miles and miles, meeting a blazing orange sky. It seems surreal, almost out of this world. But even more than that, it seems like a very sad, lonely painting, as if it's depicting a fleeting memory of a desolate soul. What kind of person could have painted this? And furthermore, why is it here in the study? None of the other stuff around here matches it. Noticing me, McGill comes to my side. Sorry, I guess I just got distracted. Noticing his sharp gaze, I get the feeling he's going to berate me for my stupidity, getting caught up with a silly painting like this while we're in enemy territory. However, I'm mistaken. Even after I start to walk away, McGill doesn't seem to budge, still staring up at the painting. I look back at him and suddenly realize what's going on. Usually I'm at a loss to what he's thinking. Up until now, that was just the way it was. But at this very moment, I completely understand him. McGill is burning. What? A slight glow has started to radiate all around him. It seems like his fury has somehow tapped into the force of Maxwell's demon, allowing him to violate the second law of thermodynamics. Actually, no. It's as though the helium and hydrogen free atoms drifting around the area are somehow causing a thermonuclear fusion reaction. The neutrinos of a reaction like this could be visible even in a cup of water. Fascinating. The look on his face is the same cold expression he always wears. However, his internal temperature has clearly risen by more than a few degrees. Serge, if anything should ever happen to me, please take care of Kid. But before I can even get the chance to ask him what he means, his face turns red, his blood hot as lava, as though he's being stripped down to some sort of primal awareness, ready to attack whatever comes his way. Finally, after all these years, I have you. He repeats over and over again, continuing to stare at the strange painting. His sharp, radiant gaze seems to pierce through the painting and beyond the mansion wall, as if he's seeing straight into the ethereal demiurge, Father Time himself. Behind that mysterious porcelain mask of his lies a consciousness on the brink of critical mass, somehow innately prepared for this very day, for this very moment. Hey, Kid says as the flames start to take on a blue hue, like that of a Cherenkov reaction. If you keep on burning like that, you're gonna get us spotted. Suddenly noticing McGill's intensity, a giant sweat drop appears on her cheek as a vein at her temple starts to throb prominently. Women. Will they ever truly understand the true nature of males? Kid, McGill is on the verge of something big here. If you're any kind of wife, you'll at least console him with one of your bittersweet smiles. Whap. Hey, snap out of it, mate. Kid had gone to the trouble of removing one of her high-laced boots and hitting me over the head with it. I awake from my daze, rubbing my head. Huh? What the heck? I was only joking around, kid. Humph. What's going on with McGill? Kid asks. I don't really know, but something's been awakened inside him. Something fierce. I think he sees something in that painting. Maybe Lynx himself. I say, pointing to the bizarre painting as the 50 cc of blood per second routinely flows through my temples. That thing. It's just a stupid picture of a desert, she yells, beyond bewildered. At any rate, McGill remains transfixed on the glossy oil canvas, glowing with that pale blue radiance all around him. Suddenly, something even stranger happens. His right fist explodes into a ball of blue fire. After the flames abate, a strange symbol has emerged on the back of his hand. 2 diagonally crossed broadswords with an S shape in the middle, interlocking the blades. Kid, Serge, we will no longer have to worry about keys, he says, as the pale blue glow continues to radiate from his body. Ah, McGill. Always good for some quality gobbledygook. McGill turns and walks back to the entranceway. There, he holds out his hand, and after a few moments, the door starts to burn. I rush over, eager to see what's going on. What I see next amazes me. Nothing but a hole remains in the space where the door handle once was. Easily pushing the rest of the door open, we follow McGill out of the room. Well, that's pretty interesting. We leave the study, retracing our steps through the dark passageway. Finally, the passage comes to a three-way branch. There's a descending staircase in front of us, in addition to passages on the right and left. Left will take us towards the terrace. I think we need to go to the right. We continue through the passageway. After a while, we arrive at a beautifully decorated set of double doors. Was this the vault? Because that's where we need to go, so let's find out, I guess. I don't think it was, because the vault was locked. This seems to be Viper Manor's ballroom. Beautifully decorative ornaments rest on large tables. Yeah. A countless number of candles, various portraits that possibly move, even though nobody believes it. Okay, so I don't think we need to go down. Passageway to the left. Okay, to the left is... Can I go any further left? No. Right is the ballroom. Yeah. The terrace. Okay, back towards the terrace. Continue on. Suddenly, Kid stops dead in her tracks. What is it? It's probably another skeleton. No, it's a demon thing. It's a demon warlock. I unsheath my knife and size up the beast. Yeah. Let's just get through this. Because this fight, we have already mastered, I'm pretty sure. Blah, blah, blah. Shouldn't even have to get into these fights, but I'm lost. Blah, blah, blah. The demon's choking. Lightning bolts shatter the silence. And then we kick him down into the ground. Wonderful. Kid's glare shoots into me like an icy lance. Apparently I'm not fighting like a man or something, I don't know. We make our way down the dimly lit passageway. An old dusty door on the right. Quiet as a church mouse. No one's there, mate. That's the storeroom, I think, right? Let's see. Go to the study, then go to the treasury. Going up, and a firm-looking set of doors. There better be treasure here. Was this the vault? This might be the trap room. Maybe not. McGill steps towards the door with his burning hand extended. The instant his glowing blue palm touches the door, the lock simply disappears. Whoa, McGill. Why didn't you ever use that hand of yours before? Kid purses her lips, slipping silently into the treasure vault. The hole left by McGill's new magic is perfectly round, with smooth edges, almost as though it had been cut with an incredibly sharp blade. Also, there doesn't seem to be a single scrap of wood left on the floor. Even I don't know where the scraps go, he says from beside me as I enter through the doorway. Taking our first few steps inside, Kid whistles out loud in admiration. Crikey, look at all this loot. I'm taken aback as well, despite the fact that this room smells like insecticide that's been kept alone in a drawer for years and years. Faintly visible in the dim light, a mountain of gold and silver treasure, countless works of fine art, and other shimmering artifacts fill the spacious room. McGill walks around, amazed at all the items scattered about the room. Oddly enough, He starts to go crazy over some more of the eclectic, less valuable-looking items. Ah, a statue of the hero Kefal from the planet Taurus, a stuffed Darumphos from Saturn, a Triffid worm plant from Grylands, Krendathu royal jelly on a Life Maker inscribed plate, the Apostle's Crystal, and what's that over there? Could it really be a genuine Swiss Army knife embedded with Zora's blue stone? I had no idea he knew about all this kind of stuff. I had no idea there was anybody out there who knew about junk like this so much. Interesting. Hey, looky what we have here, Kid says, walking over to an old movie camera. Feeling a bit camera-friendly, she stretches out across the treasure, posing with a somewhat awkward smile for the camera. The teleprompter's not in order, mutters McGill, abandoning the clunky machine he'd been checking out. Suddenly there's a noise over in the far corner. I look over, seeing one of the items suddenly being knocked over. None of us are anywhere near it, though. I unsheath my knife as Kid and I exchange glances. She goes to check it out, taking careful, quiet steps. "Aw, Elle, it's just the assistant director," she says. "You bumbling crew, always getting in the way." The assistant director tries to explain, but is cut off by Kid. "You gotta make me screw up my lines," Kid continues. "And sides, can't you see you're right in the middle of a great find here? And get me an Evian for crying out loud." But then, something catches my eye. Over in the back of the room, behind the Clare Bible and Idenite that the assistant director had knocked over, a shimmering red light streaks out, barely visible behind all the items. The Frozen Flame. On an intricate pedestal sits a magnificent scarlet crystal. It's so perfectly radiant it seems as though it's unreal, like a product of polygon technology. It slowly rotates on the pedestal, beckoning us. "Halt! Wait! Hold on. It might be a bit dangerous." McGill extends his faintly glowing hand out towards Kid, yanking her hand back just as she's about to grab the fabled item. "Easy, McGill. Remember what that hand of yours can do." But then, the scarlet jewel suddenly vanishes into thin air. We stare at each other, confused. McGill approaches the pedestal a few moments later, using his hand to burn a hole into the top of the platform. We peer down inside it. There, amongst an array of mechanical equipment, we see a circuit controlling the revolving pedestal, and another controlling a red light of some sort, flickering on and off. Ah, a hologram. A fake, just as I expected, McGill says, looking around by the back of the pedestal. "Here's the cord," he says, following along its path. "It should lead us to—" "Aha!" he says, stopping at the wall where the cord goes into. There, we find nothing but the stagehand, fumbling around with the power outlets. The short Oriental man looks up at us with a worried look on his face. "You worthless piece of garbage," Kid yells, shaking the stagehand by the neck. "What'd you do with the real Frozen Flame?" "Come on, Kid," I say. "He wouldn't know anything about anything that important. He was probably just trying to fix the lighting in here and tripped over the Frozen Flame's cord or something." Kid reluctantly releases her grip from the stagehand's neck and gives a nervous, apologetic smile to us all before quickly scampering away. "And get me an Evian already," she yells as he scurries out of sight. The real flame's gotta be around here somewhere. I have a feeling the real flame would not be stored in such an easily obtainable place, Kid. We should search elsewhere. Aye. We say goodbye to the treasure vault for now, resuming our search. Well, oh boy, interesting. From the treasure vault, paths extend to the left and to the right. To the right heads back to the terrace. Let's see. After the treasury, we need to go to the storeroom. The storeroom... I can't remember where it was. I think we might have passed it up, actually. With Kid in the lead, we ascend the narrow staircase. The cracked stone stairs seem to endlessly twist upwards. It feels like we're heading up a scaffold to be executed. At the staircase, an old but solid door waits for us silently. This damp place fills me with a feeling of dread. There's a faint voice coming from the other side of the door, says Kid. Maybe we should check somewhere else, I say. What's the matter? Ya chicken? She says while glancing at me. But I can feel she's scared too. We're going to go back down the stairs, because this is not where we need to go. I really think we ought to come back some other time, I say hesitantly. McGill doesn't look too enthusiastic either. What? You want to turn back? Alright. I guess I got no choice, Kid exclaims while shrugging her shoulders. How rare. Kid is listening to other people for a change. With Kid leading the way, we descend the stairs. So I think the storeroom was at the other side of this door then. Quite sturdy looking door. Continues on. Proceed to the terrace. Let's check this one. Pretty sure this is the storeroom. What's with all this junk? Must be a storeroom or something. It seems like this is the inner mechanics of a clock tower. However, the gears look old and rusted, and cogs are spinning randomly without connecting up with their proper teeth. I doubt the clock's still in use today. The room seems to be currently used as a storage area. A large object catches my attention off in a far corner of the room. It's too dark over there to see what it is, though. I start to look around a bit, peering in under some of the covered items. But then, all of a sudden... What's that? What's going on? I didn't do anything. Tension rises as a low rumbling sound starts to echo out through the room. The light in the room has also dimmed rather suddenly. Kid looks around the room with a newfound interest. I feel it too. Where is it coming from? I follow my ears over to the far wall. It seems to be coming from that direction. Kid approaches the dark, dusty rear half of the room with slow, cautious steps, attracted by the suspiciousness. The wall is covered with a large cloth. Whatever is making the noise seems to be coming from here. Kid and I look at each other. I hesitantly grip my knife as she gives the cloth a tug. Whoa. A vast collection of twinkling lights are lined up in an orderly fashion across the entire wall. I've never seen anything like this before. There's hardly any light in the room, nor does the moon's light shine in on us here. But somehow, these lights twinkle and sparkle on their own, as if they contain a spark of fire within each of them. The hum we heard earlier, like that of a firefly buzzing around, seems to be coming from everywhere on this wall. Speaking of fireflies, that's very much how it all looks as well. Endless amounts of bright greens, reds, and blues twinkle and sparkle on the assortment of panels before us. Metal components of some kind seem to be integrated into the ceiling and the floor. What could all this be used for? Lynx. What has he been up to all this time? Strange paintings and now strange flickering walls, hidden completely out of sight? The atmosphere in here, I suddenly realize, feels strangely similar to when we were standing in front of the painting. Maybe it's McGill. His radiance has returned to a bright blue glow. Looking over at him, he looks as though he never left that room. He stands there, examining the wall with his lips pursed and a bead of sweat rolling down his cheek. "Hey mate, come check this out." I turn my head over towards the far corner where Kid was investigating. It seems she's uncovered something more. It looks like some sort of huge box. It would probably be taller than McGill if it wasn't tipped on its side. It has a set of doors which open freely on its front face, which contain strange, colorful mechanics inside. Isn't this about the usual size of box that a fridge comes in?" Kid asks. "Kid, let's think for a minute," McGill says. "How could this be a refrigerator box, if refrigerators haven't even been invented yet?" "Good call, McGill." "Oh yeah, I forgot. Well, it looks an awful lot like a non-electric refrigerator box thing, McGill and I glance at each other. McGill blinks. "Oh, hell. What does it matter what I call it? It's got nothing to do with the frozen flame," she yells, kicking the box. Suddenly the box starts to rumble. Lights begin to shine and shimmer all over it, letting out strange noises. It lets out a wild shrill as two flaps open up on both sides of the box. There, large legs sprout out. This thing, whatever it is, towers above us as it rises to its feet. Then, two more flaps open out, where two strong and sturdy arms begin to grow outwards, just as the legs did. Finally, a round dome rises up out of the top, complete with two wide eyes, a gaping mouth, and a rotating arc-shaped antenna. Frightened for my life, I ready my weapon against the huge monstrosity before me. Kid, on the other hand, can't seem to stop laughing. "Yeah, it does look kinda clunky, maybe even a bit funny looking, but still." Uh-oh. I think we rubbed it the wrong way. It looks down on us with a frustrated smirk on its face. In the center of its torso, the two original flaps slowly open, revealing a complex network of psychedelic colored gears, chains, and a pair of huge Gatling guns. We dive for cover behind some covered items, just as it opens fire. Reload. Kid can't seem to help continuing to laugh and taunt the thing as we scurry from place to place. However, suddenly, a clear voice echoes out over the chaos. "Kid, Surge, hide quickly. I'll deactivate it." Upon hearing McGill behind it, the thing starts to whip around. "Great Diva of Mars, I come for you." In a flash, McGill has leapt into the air, dashing with full force towards the fridge, non-fridge thing. He shoots downward, landing a direct kick on the back of its head. It teeters for a moment as McGill lands safely away from it. Then, miraculously, it falls lifelessly to the floor before us, as pieces of its beaten body fly out in all directions. Its battery box, 2 AA sold separately, tumbles away, stopping inches from my feet. McGill stands there, a glowing champion, burning with a blue radiance like never before. "Are you two all right?" he asks us. "My belly hurts, but yeah," Kid answers, still unable to stop laughing. I silently nod to McGill. Looking over at the junked remains, Kid seems to have found something of interest. She reaches out and takes some sort of white object, quickly stashing it down her bosom. "Hey, Kid, what's that?" "Nothing. Mind your own business, Sag." "Let us search elsewhere. There are many clues left to be discovered," McGill says with a cocked eyebrow, before heading to the door. Thinking back on all this, McGill's been getting stranger and stranger lately. What did he call that thing? A great diva of Mars? And how could he have known where its weak spot was? What kind of background does a guy need to have in order to know about stuff like that? I always knew he was strange, but I'm finding out now just how strange he really is. In any case, I'm glad I have him on our side. That thing would have made mincemeat out of us if he hadn't been there. I follow the gallant, luminescent figure of McGill out of the room. From here, the passageway stretches to the right and left. The path continues on into the mansion, while heading to the left will take us to the terrace. I think we need to go to the right. Proceeding ahead on the path, we come to a staircase going up, and a firm-looking set of doors on the left. Okay, no, we don't. Let's head back through the passageway. And then towards the terrace. After a short while, the terrace comes into view on the left. The cool evening air trickles in through the doorway, giving me a subtle reassurance. Proceed on through the hallway, I think. After a while, the path splits into 3 directions. To the left is a descending staircase, which is where we need to go. I believe, if I'm reading this right. Just as we reach the bottom of the stairs, a wall of light suddenly flashes out in front of us. I almost run into it, but I barely manage to stop myself before colliding with the blistering hot thing. I look a bit closer at it once I've caught my bearings. In addition to the bright light in front of us, strange markings are scattered around on the floor within it. Around the markings, a small ditch runs in a perfect circle where the columns of light radiate up from. A weird sort of shrill seems to be coming from it as well. What is it? Can you break through it with your magic? I ask McGill. Without saying a word, McGill shifts his glance over to Kid. What are you looking at me for? Kid asks defensively. McGill points to her chest. Oh, my bunny? Kid reluctantly reaches into her bosom. She takes out a plush bunny hand puppet, saying, "It's my toy. I found it fair and square." So that's what she found in the wreckage? A toy bunny? But what good would that be here? Kid, this is actually a Martian Forest League concealed lesser armament bunny, and it is far more than a toy. Kid gawks at McGill, as do I. I suppose I'm expecting him to yell, "Gotcha," any time now, but he just stands there, aloof as ever. He puts the white, fluffy, blue-eyed bunny puppet onto his hand with utmost care. So, this Martian Forest League, lesser armament bunny, Martian Concealed Forest League lesser armament bunny, McGill corrects, as solemn as a philosophy teacher. Right. This Martian Concealed Forest League, lesser armament bunny. What is it? Please, Kid. Such technology is hopelessly beyond human comprehension. Well, what does it do then? Watch. Wait, no, That's okay, McGill. McGill turns around, facing the columns of light. Entirely unfazed by my presence, McGill starts to dance around, waving the bunny around through the air as he recites some sort of weird incantation. Heat cup, provolone, soccer mom. It's like he's wasted or something. And then, after a few moments, the glimmering light begins to subside. Well, whatever. I stopped trying to figure out this whole mess a long time ago. Serge. McGill turns to me, staring into my eyes with relentless honesty. He holds the bunny, the Martian Forest League Lesser Armament bunny, mind you, out in front of him, saying, I entrust this to you. Please, if anything should ever happen to me, use it as I have. McGill, I humbly accept this most sacred gift. I shall use it sparingly and appropriately, I say with a deep bow. Hey, when in Rome. This enchanted seal can never be completely removed, McGill continues. It will require one to re-extinguish it from time to time. By doing what I have done, this instrument can be used to temporarily nullify the effects of the seal. Please, remember how to use it, for someday you too may find yourself in need of its assistance. So, it's safe to cross now. Yes. We must hurry, though. Walking across it, I feel a little bit of a shock run through my feet as I take my first few steps. But nothing serious happens. Once we're across, we come to a solid oak door after a bit of walking. Kid opens it, slowly. Having come this far, I take a deep breath. It's almost pitch black inside this room. All I can tell is that it's very large and very cold. I can make out something in a far corner, though. It's a large metallic structure of some kind. A billowing voice echoes down from high above. Finally, you've made it. I was wondering if you pitiful apes would ever show up. And there, amidst the shadowy interior of this spacious room, Lord Lynx awaits. Before him, shimmering off the dank walls and ceiling of this underground cavern, a scarlet jewel radiates a deep red light. The frozen flame. The Lynx! I have you now, Kid shouts, feral. I beg to differ, young lady, Lynx taunts, leaping down from the rocks, dashing towards her with amazing speed. Kid takes on a battle stance as she readies herself for him. However, he quickly dodges her attack, picking her up and tossing her through the air as though like a rag doll. Ugh. Kid! She's been thrown backwards onto a wall behind us, as Lynx returns to near where he stood, unfazed. I run over and scoop Kid up into my arms. Oh, how sweet. The apes care for each other. However, I would be more worried about yourself, young man, Lynx shouts, laughing at the top of his lungs. That beast. There has to be something I can do, but he's so fast. I've never seen anybody move like that. As Lynx continues to laugh, I try desperately to ignore him and fight off this sudden feeling of hopelessness. What would McGill do at a time like this? Wait, where is McGill? I haven't seen him since we came in. Wait, What's that? Is that a guitar? Just a second ago, a strange sound echoed throughout the huge cavern. It couldn't have been Lynx. He seemed to be caught off guard by the sound as much as I was. Suddenly, a figure comes forth from out of a dark corner of the room, carrying a portable amp at his side and a shiny guitar across his chest. Electrified sounds continue to roar throughout the cavern, again and again as the figure continues to come towards us. It's McGill. Wait, McGill? From what I can tell, it looks like him. Sort of. Although having somehow changed into skin-tight riveted jeans, trendy goggles, and a cool-looking shirt exposing his defined torso, it seems to be McGill in the flesh. Lights shine up from behind him, dazzlingly illuminating his glistening spiked hair and ponytail. McGill? What do you think you're doing? Kid asks, recovering from her daze. But McGill says nothing, continuing on with his enthusiastic solo. No! That noise! Stop! Stop that noise! Lynx shouts, holding his ears. What's that? You'd like a little stairway to heaven? Your wish is my command, McGill shouts with a huge smile, before wailing on the guitar even louder. Before long, it seems like Lynx is going mad, listening to the harsh dissonance. His head starts to vibrate, before swelling up more and more like a balloon. Then, all of a sudden, his head pops. At the same time, a countless number of cracks start to run up his body, snapping away parts of his body piece by piece, until a number of slender green tentacles make their way through his body, writhing all around him. Whoa, what's going on? Sag, Kid says, rising to her feet. This is a bigger fight than I expected. I'm counting on you. You got that? I don't know, kid. I can't throw myself into the thick of battle now. Who would narrate the story if something was to happen to me? Suddenly, the remains of Lynx fly out in all directions. And with that, Lynx has completed his metamorphosis. Oh my. A gigantic, slimy, lime-green octopus stands before us, eagerly awaiting our doom. I have you now, Martian conjurer, McGill shouts. I have searched the galaxy for over 500 years for you, wretched H-class space criminal. I have hidden my identity as a mere human, traveling with these people in order to track you to this very spot. But now, such tricks are no longer necessary. Behold, for I am Universal Detective Mick Van Jovie. As soon as Mick says this, light streaks out from all around him. When I can see again, he's changed again into some sort of polished metallic body armor. And now, I come for you. McGill turns towards the grotesque octopus and hurls himself into the air. The octopus takes on a look of shock and disgust as Mick reveals himself. Ah, my ever-trendy antithesis and antithesis, Mick Van Jovie. So, you have finally found me. It was because of you that I was forced to flee Mars. Fleeing in haste, I accidentally crash-landed on this hellhole planet. My fusion reactor was rendered useless, leaving me stranded here. All because of you. I was forced to eat my own ship to survive. He continues sobbing. The control panel, the steering wheel. I even had to boil down the seat mat for food. And now, 500 years later, you come to arrest me, just as I have finished repairing my fusion core? He yells, nodding to the frozen flame. The frozen flame? A fusion reactor? Within McGill's eyes, a silver flash of light shines out as a pale pulse runs down his glimmering armor. Ah, the Martian Cyclone Crystal Fusion Reactor. Too bad that after I'm done with you, the reactor won't be the one needing 500 years of repairing. Not if I can help it, the Martian octopus shouts. Not missing a beat, Lynx instantly starts to shoot his heavy gray pistol at us, showering the room with jagged beams of light. While we're busy dodging the plethora of light rays, Lynx suddenly snatches the frozen flame and runs into the huge metallic saucer-shaped object over in the corner. In a flash, the thing starts up, rising high above us in a matter of seconds. The thing could easily weigh 10,000 tons, yet it hovers over us as easily as a bird. How do you like my new and improved Galaxy mothership? We hear Lynx's voice boom throughout the cavern. I apologize, but I do believe I will not be coming back to Mars with you, my dear Van Jovi. The ship fires an even more intense barrage of ammunition at us, causing the walls and ceiling around us to crumble and break apart. Ah! The cavern is collapsing all around us. Boulders of all sizes are frantically raining down on us. Oh no! McGill's been struck down by a huge boulder. He's helplessly trapped beneath it. McGill, no! I rush over to him and push the gigantic boulder off. The boulder seems to have crushed some of his armor, though. He's hurt bad. Feel like running yet, fools? Lynx shouts from inside his cockpit. We gotta get out of here. We can't just leave Mick, though, I shout at Kid. Look at all that armor he's got on. It'll be impossible to carry him out. Even with 3 people, it would still be tough. Don't worry about me, McGill mutters as his armored fingers suddenly grasp my ankle. Serge, McGill gasps. The Martian Forest League Junior. The bunny? I interrupt. Yes, he says. The bunny. Use it. Ah, of course. The bunny. Taking the soft puppet out of my pocket, I look back over to Serge. Use it, as I have shown you. It is a multi-use detonator. And please, look after Kid, if death comes for me. I clench my fists as I raise my head, looking up towards Lynx's dreadful ship. Lynx, behold! I shout, raising my hand up into the air, pointing the bunny towards the ship. You! Where did you get that? Lynx shrieks. No, he continues. You must not use it, please. It will negate the stability of the fusion reactor. It will kill us all. I look down to McGill. Damn it, I mean Mick. I look down towards Mick, who nods back at me confidently. Ignoring Lynx's pleas, I close my eyes and mimic the enchantment McGill performed earlier with utmost care. Heat cup? Provolone? Soccer mom! Good, Serge. The detonation sequence has been initiated. It's on a time delay, Mick says. We must Escape before that ship detonates. Kid and I hoist his heavy body up and start to drag him out of the spacious cavern. We're not very far out when suddenly a giant explosion rocks the entire area around us. From far behind we hear Link's shriek, "My ship!" over and over again. The walls around us are beginning to tremble and shake more and more. Oh no, the entire mansion is collapsing. "Run, Surge!" Mick shouts, as Kid and I desperately try to scamper away faster. Mick seems to have regained a bit of strength and adrenaline, helping us by limping a bit as we carry his incredibly heavy body through the dark, twisted corridors of Viper Manor. Come on, please, don't cave in just yet. Damn it, just a little longer, please. Yes, we're out. Looking back on the mansion from a safe distance, we watch it collapse under its own weight. It comes toppling down into what looks like a sweltering black hole, infused with a deep Martian redness. I'm speechless. This whole scenario, I have nothing to add. I am speechless. I let out a deep breath as I stare up into the nighttime sky. Suddenly, however, a small group of what looks like flying saucers come flying out of where the mansion used to be, soaring up into the stratosphere. Supporting Mick on both sides, we stare up at the ascending getaway ships. Don't take it too rough, Mick. At least we made it out alive. Tomorrow's another day. Indeed, he replies. They're pedal-powered escape pods. They won't get too far. Looking up as they soar over our heads, I see that he's right. Within the translucent center of one of the pods, I see what looks like Lynx, crammed in with a goblin, who's being barked at by Lynx to pedal twice as fast, in order to keep the ship afloat. Yeah, I think you're right, I say. Human power can't be much of a replacement for a nice fusion reactor, especially when talking about interstellar travel. I look over to Kid, but ironically enough, instead of the pouting face I expected, it seems like there's a quality about her that I didn't think she had before. Something more at ease about her, in a subtle sort of way. Tonight, we rest. Tomorrow, the search continues, says Mick triumphantly. And so, for this adventure, we have come to the end. And I am still just speechless. Or is it? Is it the end? Surely this scenario can't stretch on anymore. Unless we're going to get your ass to Mars. Okay, fine, I will. And so, the curtain closes on another tale. However, another time, after the spotlight had faded from Kid, Mick, and the Martians. In another place and another time, a similar band of adventurers had come forth, equally unsuspecting of their other selves, and life went on as they strode out into the great unknown. But that's a story for another day. For now, I shall put down my pen, and I shall end the video. As I softly close my grandfather's diary, I can hear my mother's voice call to me from downstairs. "Didn't you hear me? Your friend is here." I turn around, already knowing who it is. My door bursts open with a boom, where I see a strangely beautiful girl waiting for me. "Serge, we found some ruins of an old mansion up in northern Kitsune Forest today. Let's go." "I've heard there's treasure." And there's no way I could say no, with those beautiful baby blues looking back at me. Are those flying saucers in the background now? Holy crap. That's hilarious. I'm still just speechless about this whole thing. This whole scenario. All of these bonus scenarios have just been over the top insane. So there's 3 more left. One of them, I don't know if I'm gonna record them. That's 3 more hours, probably, because the scenarios seem to be lasting about an hour for me to read. I'm just speechless. So, if I come back, we will be doing the 5th scenario. I might take a week or 2 off before I upload any more of these. And, I don't know, we'll see.